What's good, family? High stakes basketball back once again with the best basketball commentary on this side of the whole entire planet. You dig? Man, that was good stuff watching good old Shay and Shannon Sharpe go at it on Club Shay. Tapping in after the weekend passes, let the dust settle as we got a new week emerging. And man, I just got to tap in and talk about the typical. We already know what we here for, the good old LeBron and Jordan debate, and what it really does reveal about not just Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe. It hilariously follows right along the same narrative lines that exist for both fans of the individual player, or players, shall I say. And it's interesting because as a person, you know, I'm a Jordan guy and not just I'm an old head, this, that, and the third, like the person who's seen in real time the full or the vast majority of the careers of both individuals. I just don't see how anyone can say that LeBron simply is better. And just dealing with the arguments as we've seen Shannon Sharpe give, especially now against a Stephen A. Smith, because we've already seen that whole back and forth between Shay and Skip, and those particular arguments always seem just kind of empty to me, you know, kind of made for TV. You know, I do truly believe that both stood their ground and had legitimate stances, like those were their takes, I guess. But it always just seemed like a big cartoonish kind of thing, and they just kept running into the same stuff. Now that Stephen A is on the other side of the table, it's become more grounded, at least as far as this particular argument. And when I say more grounded, because the argument that they both were presenting shows the same stuff that I'd be seeing on social media, the same stuff I see on Twitter and Facebook about these continuous back and forth goes. For when I see Stephen A. Smith side of the equation, Stephen A. seems to be a part of the Jordan fans and just the logical NBA fan base. They just take the facts for what it is. They look more facts based, more performance based, more it is what it is. This isn't even fandom. You know, I don't even like Jordan, but I can't deny what he did kind of take. And Stephen A. was, as he was even showing in the show, he was just more poised. He wasn't all emotionally flaring all over the place. He was just laying out literally the course of Jordan's career. You just lay it out, and if you just look at it, you can see what it is for what it's worth. All of this extra grandstanding, all of the extra show, you know, not say showboatiness, but just popping circumstance that we've been seeing, you know, all over TV, all over social media about it. It doesn't really have to exist. You really just tell them what it is, and that's just what it is. And that's what I saw from Stephen A. and how he went about it. And then, of course, we have the LeBron fans represented by Shannon Sharpe. And I don't care who doesn't like it. The way Shannon Sharpe was acting is indicative of exactly how these LeBron fans act. Way too emotional, flaring all over the place, flapping all over the wind, presenting arguments that are very frail, that are not performance-based as far as the actual accomplishments at the highest level, ignoring certain caveats and certain gaps in LeBron's resume. And most importantly, looking at LeBron's career in comparison to Mike or anybody else's, and being the most self-centered style of argument or perspective out of any other superstar. They keep saying it's about Jordan. Oh, Jordan is, y'all giving him all the credit, this, that, and the third. But they look at LeBron James in this weird vacuum of a singular player even worse. Ignoring all of the team hopping, ignoring all of the swapping out of superstar teammates, ignoring all of the, all of the weird media manipulation stuff and throwing the teammates under the bus continuously. All of this stuff gets voided out, and somehow they just latch onto him as an individual. And because they look at him as the individual, trumps the fact that there's 4 other players on the court on his team. And this is one of the weird, most egregious critiques about these LeBron fans, because that's how most of them look at it. They look at him just how Shannon Sharpe does, without any remorse or regard to the fact that he has a losing record, Even if you adjust for certain teams that he plays for, he still has a losing record, or at least a record with multiple losses. They adjust for the fact that when in certain moments throughout his entire career, not even just the playoffs or the finals, where we've seen other superstars, even of lesser accomplishment and lesser fanfare, rise to the occasion and get their team over the hump. But LeBron simply does not have that in a consistent fashion, way that we would expect a super mega star or a GOAT level star to have. All of these things just get completely ignored, and they just go off the glamour of his statistical accomplishments. They just go off in the glamour of his biggest headlines. They go off in the glamour of his biggest media narratives. And none of it really gets based in winning, the ultimate accomplishment for judging any and all players that have ever existed, basically up until this current era. I see it over and over and over again all over social media. These Facebook NBA groups are insane. They post some of the weirdest cherry picking stat memes ever, and then try to either compare it to Jordan or say Jordan didn't do this. Well, of course he didn't, because he didn't have to. You busy pointing out all of these stats that this dude had in this one particular game, but they lost the game. Y'all pointing about, oh, he made the biggest shot ever when he made the shot over the Orlando Magic, but they lost the series. Oh, they talk about he put up 50 this and 47 that, and he had 13 assists that season, but they got beaten the second round. Like, this very odd. Look at him, but don't look at actually what mattered most. Don't look at actually how he didn't get it done. Just look at him and look at me flail around and look at me get loud and look at me ignore stats and look at me ignore PER. Look at me ignore championships. Look at me ignore being grounded in one center to one place. None of that goes into the account. In watching Stephen A versus Shannon Sharpe, it was literally art meets life. It was literally both fan bases embodied in the way that both of those men presented their arguments, and literally the way that they both physically acted around one another. That was almost surreal to watch, but it was also expected. And so, hey, I just had to tap in on that. It was a funny watch. Let your GOAT be your gosh doggone GOAT, whatever. But hey, let's just keep it fun, man. Glad Stephen A's back on TV. Glad Shannon Sharpe is back on TV. Let's go ahead and watch that ESPN now. High stakes basketball. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Do it. Peace.